Whew. God, it's stormy today, which is why it's great news. We've managed to fix our boiler. So if you saw our previous video, stay tuned and I'll tell you what we had to do to get our Truma boiler fixed and the error codes cleared. So if you watched our last video, you'll know that we've been having some issues with our Truma diesel boiler on our Hymer Campervan, and it was throwing up some error codes which we tried to get cleared using the various resets that you can find if you're searching online. Unfortunately, because our boiler tried to reset multiple times, it had locked out and we needed to call in help. God, let's get that door shut. It's really blustery outside. Storm Chandra, I think it's called. It's certainly battering us here today. So we've been unlucky enough to have an error code which popped up on the control panel for the Truma boiler, which was as a result of the diesel running low in the van. Now, if I'd read the instruction manual, like probably very few people do, I would have found out that by letting the Truma boiler can potentially go into a safety mode if it senses that the fuel in the tank on the vehicle gets below a quarter of a tank. So we'd set our heater to routinely cut in and cut out, sort of effectively as a frost protection over winter, set the dial at 6 degrees, and we did it last year, and I thought it was a good way to keep the cabin temperature at a level above freezing to stop doing any damage to bits and pieces inside the van. But we found out subsequently that that wasn't a great idea for two main reasons. The first one being that as we ran low on fuel, there wasn't enough fuel in the tank to pull through and actually fire the boiler up. So what happened? On the panel behind me, it threw up some error codes, which by reading in the book said that basically the boiler had tried to reignite, I think it's 15 times, and as a consequence it had locked out and gone into a mode whereby you can only reset it with a special tool that a Truma registered engineer has. Now, we took the van down to our supplying dealer, Leisure World down in Poole, and unfortunately they don't have the tool that was required to reset. So our next option was to search the internet to try and find somebody who has the tool who we could go and see to fit it. Now, you'd think it would be a fairly easy fix, and we called Truma, or Leisure World called Truma to find out. Strangely, they didn't appear to keep a database of people who have the necessary kit to carry out a reset like this, so all they could suggest was to search Truma-approved engineers, phone them up and see if they had the tool or not. And the tools required is a special diagnostic box that plugs into the circuit board on the boiler, and then using that you can then read the code. But as we found out, not every engineer has them. Now, we were lucky with our searching, and we came across a mobile engineer who wasn't too far away from us. The company was called Southern Camper Care, and they offer a mobile service, and a quick email and telephone call to their engineer Paul confirmed that he did have the necessary diagnostic kit from Truma, and he could come to us at home, which was great, to come and have a look and hopefully fix the problem. I say hopefully because there was no guarantee that he could, but assuming it was what we thought had caused it, and that it had been triggered by running low on fuel, it should be a reset, and as such, once done, then we would be back to normal. So it was fingers crossed to make sure that that was the case. If that didn't work out, then we would have had to send the circuit board back to the Truma head office and have them clear the codes. So on our van, our boiler is located under the travelling seats, so to access it we needed to clear the upholstery and cushions out of the way. Once the cushions are out of the way, we could lift panel up, and underneath we would find the boiler, and then underneath this covering panel are the connections that Paul needed to access. There's also the power cables and connector cables and the tiny little reset button that if you search online you can find assorted videos that might work for a reset, but in our case it didn't. So Paul plugged in his laptop and the little box of tricks from Truma, read the assorted codes, of which there were only two, both relating to running low on fuel and going into a safety shutdown, and was able to erase them within literally about 5 minutes. He then ran a whole ignition test for the boiler, making sure that everything was working correctly, and to my relief, everything was back to normal really quickly. So, but the key thing, and just talking to Paul about this, is that without that tool, we wouldn't have been able to do it. And it's still a little bit baffling and frustrating as to wonder why there isn't a mechanism for you to reset it manually yourself, do a hard reset by either a switch or some other means. I know on some of the later vans with the iNet control panels, it's possible to tell the van that there is any codes have been erased or the fault isn't there anymore. But on our van, that wasn't possible, unfortunately. So we'll know now not to let the fuel run too low. What was interesting is that, as I said, we had just under a quarter of a tank of fuel in the tank, in the fuel tank on the van. It wasn't empty, but it clearly wasn't enough in there for the boiler to pull through. I forgot to mention, if you fancy a Campervan Journey sticker, just like this one here, drop me an email at campervanjourney@gmail.com and I'll let you know how you can buy one. Or click the link in the description below. So early on in the video, I said that there were two reasons why it wasn't a good idea to necessarily use the boiler as a sort of frost protection mode. And this was something that Paul, the engineer from Southern Camper Care, identified for us as well. The parts and components in the boiler have a limited lifespan. So I said, if you have the van sat on your driveway for 2 or 3 months whilst you're not using it, just having the boiler cutting in, cutting out is ultimately going to shorten the lifespan of the boiler itself. So his recommendation was, if we wanted to keep heat in the cabin, then maybe a better alternative solution is to find a little small heater that you can put in the van, maybe an oil radiator running off a battery pack, or if you can plug into hookup, just to keep some residual heat in the cabin. Really appreciated that top tip from him, just to try and prolong the life of our boiler. So just to prove that we're all fixed, we'll crank it up. I can hear the boiler clicking to ignite, I can hear the fan going, and in a moment we'll check the vents. Flashing flame and no error messages. It's definitely running, it's definitely blowing, and the temperature's building. Starting to warm up nicely. Just want to give another mention to Paul from Southern Camper Care. I'll put a link in the description with his contact details, that if you're in Hampshire, Wiltshire region and you have any issues, then he's well worth a call. Couldn't fault the service and the value for money he offered to get us out of what could have been a tricky situation. So thanks again, Paul. So if you found that video useful and got any value out of it at all, I'd be really grateful if you can give us a like, hit the subscribe button, and join us here on Campervan Journey for another video very, very soon. Thanks for watching.